Okay, so to start this LED light in Illustrator, the first thing and the most important thing you need to do is create the base. So this is that tab that sits into the actual bottom of the light. So how this works, you're going to draw this, start with this shape. So this is that 2.8125 by 1 inch. It was 13/16, so you can round it up. So to draw this line, if I click a line here, you can see the numbers on the right where it says properties, it'll show you. So that's where we can change any measurements, right? So we're going to start by creating this. So I'll move this out of the way. Now click the line tool. You need to make sure your colors here, the fill and the stroke is the outline with the gray square. You want to make sure, double click that, make sure that's red. Click the fill and click that none, the transparent, the square with the red line through it. That makes sure it's transparent. Now I'm just going to click, drag a line, hold shift to keep it straight. Now I'll go over to the top right. I can see where it says W for width. I can change that to 2.8125 and click enter. All right. I'm going to go back over here, click the line tool again. If I hover above it, you'll see it'll kind of line it up. I just want to draw a straight line. Click, drag, hold shift. And now I'm going to go over here and type in 1 inch, enter. Now it's not connected, so what I need to do is move that. If you go back over to the toolbar, click the selection tool, the black cursor, click your line and just drag it down until it snaps. You need to make sure it intersects. If it doesn't intersect, it won't work with the laser. So make sure it intersects. You can copy and paste that and move it. To redraw it, you can click the line tool. Again, hover over it until you see that pink snap, that pink line. Click, drag, hold shift to keep it straight. Go over to the right where the properties window is and type in 1 inch, enter. Go back to the toolbar on the left, find the cursor, the black selection tool, and click and move that so it snaps in place. So you'll have something that looks like this, and you can check it. If you click the first horizontal line, the W up in the top right should say 2.825. Sorry, 2.8125. And the two vertical lines should say 1 inch. Now from there, I'm just going to select everything, move it down. From there, you can bring in your image. So say you want to bring in Mario for whatever reason, right? I'm just going to copy this image, paste it in, and you'll have to scale it down. So when you bring in an image, two things: scale it, hold shift, scale it to the size we want. I would keep everything under 6 inches or so. And you can see when you scale, if you made sure your units were in inches, it'll show me in the properties window up here how big my image is. So I'm going to put it relatively where I want it. Now, remember, you have to image trace this. It says pixels that you want to get rid of. So I click image trace. Now, there's this window here, the image trace panel. You can make adjustments to your image. So if you select that, another window will come up and you can adjust the threshold. So that's the contrast between light and dark. So less contrast, wider image, more contrast, darker image, right? This is was already black and white, so you're not going to see too much. Once you get what you want, close that box. The next thing you need to click is expand. Click expand. That will break up all these lines into individual segments. Now what I can do is delete what I don't want. So I don't want this black box here. Double click, delete it. I'll select anything I don't want. And I'm just going to scale this up a little bigger. And that looks pretty good. So the laser will now engrave this and cut the red, but we need to make sure we're going to cut out the outline. So I can use the line tool. And again, if you click the line tool, make sure you change the stroke to red and the black box, the fill to none. So I could come around and draw just a simple shape. And the laser would cut this out. I have the right dimensions here on the base, so it would fit in, and it would cut out this outline and engrave Mario. But for the most of the time, I want to actually outline the profile of my image. So what I would use is the pen tool. So over here, if you hover over icons, it'll tell you what they are. So the pen tool, again, when I select it, make sure the stroke is red and the fill is none. And what you can do when you start, I'm going to start on the base, that first anchor, click once and release. I'm not holding. If I click and hold, I'm going to basically trace out. I can drop what are called anchors. The more anchors you have, the more accurate you can be. If I click and hold and move my mouse, I can kind of bend and warp around my shape. You can zoom in with this as you go, zoom out as you go as well. I'm just doing this quickly, but I can create an outline around my shape. And as you finish, connect it with the final side to complete your path. Go up to the left-hand side. If you click the direct selection tool, the white or the clear pointer, what you can do now is I can go in and click these individual anchors and either move them, or they have handles, 2 handles for each anchor. I can twist these so I can get these to be a little bit more accurate if you want to be more accurate with your outline. So you can kind of see how I'm doing this here. So you can go around. I'm not going to spend too much time up here. Just want to show you how this works. You can change these handles. That's by selecting the direct selection tool. That's that white cursor. The black one will allow you to move the whole thing. But if you want to get more specific, click the direct selection tool, and that will allow you to manipulate all these paths. You can add anchors too. If you go to the pen tool, right click, you can add an anchor point if you want to add more. You can delete anchor points if you have too many. It depends what you want to do. Once you're done, save it, bring it over to the laser.